Dear students, today we'll discuss about the equipotential surface. Any surface over which the potential is constant is called an equipotential surface. In other words, the potential difference between any 2 points on an equipotential surface is zero. Work done in moving a charge over an equipotential surface is always zero. Equipotential surfaces for only positive charge, only negative charge, and for an electric dipole are given below. You'll see the three diagrams. The first one is diagram for equipotential surfaces for a positive charge, only positive charge. In this situation, you can see the hollow spherical concentric spheres. They are the equipotential surfaces for this charge, and the direction of electric field lines is always away from the charge because this is positive charge. Same way for negative charge, the nature of the spherical surfaces will be same, that is the hollow concentric circles, and the direction is towards the charge. For electric dipole, you can see this third diagram, one positive charge, one negative charge. You can see these dotted lines, they are the equipotential surface due to an electric dipole. Now the next topic, which is potential energy of a system of charges. Consider first the simple case of two charges q1 and q2 with position vectors r1 and r2 relative to some origin. Let us calculate the work done in building up this configuration. This means that we consider the charges q1 and q2 initially at infinity and determine the work done by an external agency to bring the charges to the given locations. Suppose first the charge q1 is brought from infinity to the point r1. There is no external field against which work needs to be done because there are no charge. So work done in bringing charge q1 from infinity to r1 will be 0. This charge produces a potential in space by the formula v1 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 upon r1p, where r1p is the distance of a point in space from the location of q1. From the definition of potential, work done in bringing charge q2 from infinity to the point r2 is q2 times the potential at r2 due to charge q1. It means the work done on q2 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r12, where this r12 is the distance between points 1 and 2. Since electrostatic force is a conservative force, this work gets stored in the form of potential energy of the system. Thus, the potential energy of a system of two charges q1 and q2 is U is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r12. Now let us calculate the potential energy of a system of three charges q1 q2 q3 located at position vectors r1 r2 r3 respectively. So now to bring the first charge q1 from infinity to r1, no work is required. Next we'll bring q2 and then q3 from infinity to r2 and r3 respectively. The total work will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r12 plus q2 q3 upon r23 plus q1 q3 upon r13, and this total work done will be stored in the form of potential energy. Again, because of the conservative nature of electrostatic force, the final expression for U is independent of the manner in which the configuration is assembled. Means you can bring any charge in the first and then the later other two, there will be no change in the expression. The potential energy is characteristics of the present state of configuration and not the way the state is achieved. You can bring any charge in the beginning. Our next topic is potential energy of electric dipole in an electrostatic field. Means any external field is there and we kept one electric dipole that is having charges minus q and plus q. So now consider a dipole with charges q1 is equal to plus q and q2 is equal to minus q placed in uniform electric field as shown in the figure. The charges are separated by a distance d and the magnitude of electric field is E, which is external magnetic electric field. The force experienced by the charge is minus QE and plus QE, because F is equal to QE, as can be seen in the figure. So you can see that this plus Q charge will experience a force F is equal to QE, minus Q charge will experience a force minus QE. As we know that when a dipole is placed in a uniform electric field, both the charges as a whole do not experience any force, but it experiences torque equal to tau, which can be given as torque is equal to P cross E. Now this torque rotates the dipole unless it is placed parallel or anti-parallel to the field. If we apply an external and opposite torque, it neutralizes the effect of this torque given by tau external, and it rotates the dipole from the angle theta 0 to an angle theta 1 at an infinitesimal angular speed without any angular acceleration. The amount of work done by the external torque can be given by W is equal to tau external into theta d theta from theta 0 to theta 1. Now you can replace the value of tau external, that is P sin theta d theta from theta naught to theta 1. You can take P out, integration of sin theta will be minus cos theta, and if you replace the value of theta 1 and theta 0, you will get this is Pe cos theta 0 minus cos theta 1. As we know that the work done in bringing a system of charges from infinity to the given configuration is defined as the potential energy of the system. Hence, the potential energy U, which depends on theta, can be associated to the inclination theta of the dipole using the above relation, that is Pe bracket cos theta naught minus cos theta 1. From the above equation, we can see that the potential energy of the dipole placed in an external electric field is 0 when theta is equal to 90 degree or when the dipole makes an angle of 90 degree. Consider the initial angle to be the angle at which the potential energy is 0. The potential energy of the system can be given as U theta, that is P cos pi by 2 minus cos theta, that is minus Pe cos theta or minus P dot E. Thank you so much.